prepared to stare, unveiling the shadows of fear on fear files.
Returning to my old neighborhood after all these years felt like stepping into a time capsule, memories flooding back with each familiar sight and sound. But as the sun dipped below the horizon and darkness descended upon the streets, I couldn't shake the feeling of unease that settled over me like a heavy blanket, casting a pall of fear and uncertainty over my homecoming. I walked the familiar streets, the echo of my footsteps mingling with the distant hum of traffic and the rustle of leaves in the cool night breeze. The houses loomed over me like silent sentinels in the darkness, their windows dark and empty, as if hiding some dark secret within their walls. And then, just when I thought I couldn't feel any more alone, I saw him. My childhood friend, Marcus, standing at the end of the street with a smile that sent shivers racing down my spine like icy tendrils creeping ever closer with each passing moment. He looked exactly as I remembered him. Tall and gaunt, with eyes that seemed to pierce straight through to my soul. But there was something different about him, something sinister lurking just beneath the surface that set my teeth on edge and sent alarm bells ringing in the depths of my mind. I tried to convince myself that it was just my imagination running wild, that Marcus was nothing more than a figment of my childhood fantasies. But deep down, I knew the truth. Marcus was not just a childhood friend. He was something far more sinister, a demon masquerading as a friend waiting for me to summon him back into the world. I had forgotten about him, pushed him to the depths of my subconscious mind in an attempt to bury the memories of our childhood games and adventures. But now he was back, and he wanted me to remember. I tried to run, to flee from the darkness that threatened to consume me whole, but Marcus was always there, lurking just beyond the edges of my vision like a shadow in the night. He whispered in my ear, his voice a chilling reminder of the horrors that awaited me in the depths of my own mind. I stumbled through the darkness, my heart pounding in my chest as I tried to escape the clutches of the demon that had haunted my nightmares for so many years. But no matter how hard I tried, Marcus was always there, waiting for me with a smile that sent shivers racing down my spine, like icy tendrils creeping ever closer with each passing moment. And then, just when I thought all hope was lost, I remembered. I remembered the incantation, the words that would summon Marcus back into the world and unleash his unholy power upon the unsuspecting masses. I spoke the words with a trembling voice, the sound of my own voice echoing through the darkness like a death knell tolling in the night. And as the darkness closed in around me, swallowing me whole in its suffocating embrace, I knew that I had made a terrible mistake. For in the end, Marcus was not just a childhood friend. He was a demon waiting for me to summon him back into the world, a harbinger of darkness and despair destined to bring about the end of days. And as I stood there in the darkness, alone and afraid, I knew that there was no escape from the horrors that awaited me in the depths of my own mind, that I would be lost to the darkness forevermore, a prisoner of my own making in a world consumed by fear and madness. It started out as just another wild idea, fueled by adrenaline and teenage rebellion. A group of us, bored and restless on a Friday night, decided to break into the abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of town to throw an illegal rave. We had heard the rumors about the place, about its dark history, and the whispers of something lurking in the shadows, but we brushed them off as nothing more than urban legends, the stuff of ghost stories told around campfires on summer nights. As we slipped through the broken chain-link fence and made our way into the crumbling building, the air thick with the musty scent of decay and neglect, I felt a shiver race down my spine like icy tendrils creeping ever closer with each passing moment. The darkness pressed in around us like a suffocating blanket, wrapping us in its cold embrace as we ventured further into the heart of the abandoned warehouse. But as we explored the labyrinthine corridors and shadowy rooms, I couldn't shake the feeling that we were not alone. The air was heavy with an oppressive silence, broken only by the sound of our own footsteps echoing off the decaying walls like the tolling of a funeral bell in the dead of night. I tried to push aside the growing sense of unease that gnawed at the edges of my mind, but it refused to be ignored, growing stronger with each passing moment until it threatened to consume me whole. And then, just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, we stumbled upon it. A room hidden away in the darkest corner of the warehouse, its walls covered in graffiti and its floor littered with broken glass and debris. But it was what lay in the center of the room that sent shivers racing down my spine like icy tendrils creeping ever closer with each passing moment. A circle of candles, their flames flickering in the darkness like the eyes of some unseen predator lurking in the shadows. I tried to convince myself that it was just some prank, a leftover from the building's previous occupants, or a dare from one of my friends. But deep down, I knew the truth. The warehouse had a dark history, a history that was still alive and waiting for us in the depths of its crumbling corridors and shadowy rooms. And as the realization dawned on me, I knew that we were in grave danger, that whatever had happened here all those years ago was not done with us yet. We fled into the night, our hearts pounding in our chests as we ran from the darkness that had become our only companion, knowing that we would never be able to escape the horrors that awaited us in the depths of the abandoned warehouse. For in the end, the darkness always wins, swallowing everything in its path until there is nothing left but the echoes of our own screams echoing through the night, a haunting reminder of the fragility of our own mortality in a world consumed by fear and madness.
It all started innocently enough, with a simple trip to the attic to retrieve my old photo albums. I wanted to reminisce about the loved ones who had passed, to immerse myself in memories of happier times and cherished moments frozen in time. But as I flipped through the faded pages of those old albums, I could never have imagined the horrors that awaited me within their worn and weathered covers. At first, it was subtle, a shadow here, a flicker of movement there, barely noticeable amidst the sepia-toned snapshots of days gone by. I chalked it up to my imagination running wild, my mind playing tricks on me in the dim light of the attic as I pored over the memories of my past. But as I continued to flip through the pages, the ghostly figures became more pronounced, their features twisted in agony as they reached out to me from beyond the veil of time and space. I tried to convince myself that it was just a trick of the light, that there was a rational explanation for the spectral apparitions that seemed to haunt every photo in those old albums. But deep down, I knew the truth. The spirits of the dead were trying to communicate with me, to reach out across the divide between the living and the dead in a desperate attempt to convey a message that had been lost to the ages. I could feel their presence growing stronger with each passing moment, their whispers echoing in the recesses of my mind like a distant echo from a forgotten realm. I knew I had to investigate, to uncover the truth behind the ghostly figures that haunted my old photo albums. So, I delved deeper into the shadows of the attic, searching for clues amidst the dust and cobwebs that clung to the forgotten relics of my past. And as I sifted through the remnants of a life long since gone, I stumbled upon a hidden compartment at the bottom of an old chest, its contents shrouded in darkness and mystery. Inside, I found a series of letters, their pages yellowed with age and their ink faded with time. They spoke of a tragedy that had befallen my family many years ago, a secret that had been buried beneath layers of lies and deception to shield me from the pain of the past. But now, As I read the words written by hands long since turned to dust, I knew that the truth could no longer remain hidden. The spirits had led me here, to this forgotten corner of the attic, in a desperate attempt to uncover the secrets that had been lost to the sands of time. And as I stared down at the letters in my trembling hands, I knew that I could no longer turn away from the horrors that lay buried within the depths of my own past. For in the end, the spirits of the dead will always find a way to make themselves heard, their voices echoing through the darkness of our memories like a haunting refrain from a forgotten symphony. And as I stood there in the attic, alone and afraid, I knew that I would never be able to escape the echoes of the past, that they would follow me wherever I went, whispering their secrets in the silence of the night until the end of days.
Thank you for braving the unknown with us. Until next time, stay haunted.